Hello and welcome to the Blob Plays. Finally, full release, Void War. They had some bureaucratic hiccups at the last moment. The release was delayed a couple of extra days. Now we get to see the full game. For people for whom this hasn't been on their radar, this is legally distinct, not quite FTL, has had a baby with legally distinct, not quite Warhammer 40k. I quite enjoyed the demo/backer beta. Especially the spell effects. But let's see what the full game has now. The God King has fallen. The Empire is in despair. In the distant future there is no copyright. The time is nigh for you to be our instrument of salvation. You will now be familiarized with the basics of void warfare. This is your ship. As the commander of this vessel, you may select any crew members of the ship, including yourself, by clicking their portrait. You may also select them by clicking on them directly, or dragging a box around them. Call it bandboxing. Anyway, select yourself now. Whilst crew members are selected, you may issue commands by right-clicking, move to the shield room. You may now perform tasks upon arrival. This shows you your systems. Each has its own icon. They are powered by your reactor, this little bar on the left. You may hover a system for more detail. Whilst hovering, you will get hover tooltips. These are your subsystems. They're different from normal systems in that they are automatically powered and do not consume reactor power. To proceed, hover over each system. This is your health bar. When it reaches 0, you will explode. Everyone will die. Pair of Imperial Enforcers has joined your crew. 60 health, 3 attack, some fire resistance. Sure. They've arrived in time to assist you with the fire that has broken out. Time is precious when confronted by hazards like fire. Thankfully, you have access to command mode. Okay, you have pause. Welcome to pause. This fire needs to be extinguished. Bandbox your people. Move them to the fire. Leave pause with spacebar. More people will accomplish a job faster. This can help reduce injuries that they might sustain while doing so. You've put out the fire. Another one has broken out. Use the airlock to put it out this time. Yep, we understand. It is time to prepare for subspace translation. Move the commander to the command throne. Also known as the pilot bay. Notice you can automatically man the commanded throne when you arrive. You will need to power your engines. Notice that power was removed from your reactor and moved to the engines. Your subspace drives are now active. It is time to engage them. As you go to leave, a sudden energy spike surges through your vessel, destroying the engines. Please go repair them. Notice the little repairy bars. Now that they're repowered, you can try again. As the commander, you must be present aboard the ship to teleport away, to engage your drive. You can always identify the commander by hovering over them and looking for a commander keyword. Ensure that a commander is manning the command throne and then press the warp button. Legally distinct, not FTL jump. You get to pick your path. It's a little bit more like Slay the Spire-ish rather than FTL's branching system. Like there's a little bit more Branching, reconnecting, more branching, more reconnecting. But it's pretty the same. You can either click drag, or use the little scrolly scrolls. When you are ready, press home. This drags you back to where you are, and pick where you want to go. Can we please lower? Oh, good lord. Why aren't you a sensible resolution? There we go. There. Let's drop that back a bit. The galaxy is filled with hostile threats. The servo husks have gone rogue and are threatening to destroy your ship. Fortunately, the ship's weapons do not have the strength to penetrate your shields. This will show them the error of their ways. Yes, they still have a legal right. They don't have a moral one as much. They say they're going to leave it all alone. Enter pause mode. Power your weapon system. Click your weapon. Target the enemy. Leave pause mode. Maybe reclose the system that we opened before and go man the weapon system. The shots didn't penetrate the enemy's 2 shield layers. You will need some help. Your ship is equipped with a launch bay. You can use this to do boarding operations. Crew loaded into the system will be delivered in the legally distinct not drop pod. The legally distinct not drop pod is designed to penetrate enemy shielding before crashing into the ship. Send your crew member to the launch bay. Launching the legally distinct drop pod is a multi-step task, so it's a good idea to enter command mode. Click load crew. With the crew loaded, they are hidden from view in the ship. They are shown in this small counter. Click the launch button and target the enemy shield room. Leave pause mode. You will now attack. Your crew has killed an enemy and damaged the enemy shield system. Notice that the enemy shield icon has turned orange. It indicates that this system is damaged. When it is destroyed, it will turn red. Your crew will instantly damage an enemy system anytime they kill a non-temporary crew member in the same room. This is a great way to quickly damage enemy systems. Your crew will also attack enemy systems if there's no one to fight in the room. Your boarding action has degraded the enemy's defenses. Return your crew to the ship using the recall button. With a damaged shield system, the enemy can now only charge 1 layer of shields. Your cannon will be able to punch through this and damage their hull. Continue firing until it is destroyed. For a brief moment there, I was pressing the 1 button and wondering why it wasn't selecting weapon number 1. Where's auto fire? There we go. The Corsair vessel breaks apart. You salvage material from the remains. You can hover over any of the salvaged items for more info. Another gun, a repair drone, consumable. Seal all breaches and repair 2 system damage in the target room. And scrap. To view your new equipment, click the loadout button. You have acquired a repair drone. This is a piece of crew equipment. So this is one of the things that this game does that is just a pure addition to FTL. Your crew members have little equipment slots, and you can equip things in those equipment slots to give them special abilities, one-time consumables, as well as, like, permanent stat buffs. So, like, you might give them Flaming Sword that increases their damage. Or you might give them Armor Set. In this case, Little Repair Drone is a consumable thing. I think. Anyway. You also have acquired a new weapon. To equip it, click the weapons in your cargo and place it in one of the empty armament slots. Boom! Flaming, legally distinct chainsword. Close the loadout by clicking anywhere. Note, the total power capacity of your weapon system is currently not enough to power all of them. You only have 2 power bars, while you require 3 now. If you want to power both weapons, you will need to upgrade your weapon system. Go to the upgrade menu. This is the upgrade panel. You may now click confirm. Yeah, it works just the same as FTL. If you're used to it, this tutorial is largely wasted. Now you should have enough weapon system to power all of your weapons. Power it up. Your weapons are now powered. A sudden energy spike has destroyed your life support system. It could be dangerous. Without life support, the oxygen will gradually deplete and eventually your crew will suffocate. You could use your new repair drone to repair it remotely. Certain pieces of crew equipment... Now, I'm actually going to read this because I don't ultra remember using the abilities too much. You gain an active ability. It will get attached to their portrait. Click the repair drone. Click the life support room. Yeah, and it was single use because now it's at 0 of 1. One last thing. Your engine has been enabled. Oh no, your translocator. Your legally distinct teleporter? You can use it to board enemy ships, escape from a difficult situation, or simply to get around your ship faster. Try it. Fine? Oh, you mean the other ability. Okay, so my guy has a built-in teleport thing with a cooldown. Sure. This concludes your training. As you set out, be on guard against craven pirates, dread cultists, and the Imperial, who yet cling to his fallen deity. Let none bar your path to the Vault of Souls, for only within its argent flames lie our destined salvation from this forsaken realm. When you are ready, ensure that you are manning the command throne. Then press the warp button to continue with your journey. Okay, do we want to head towards the weapons dealer? Or the merchant? Command Axe 7000? Yeah. G'day, TBW. There are destroyed merchant ships here. You're able to salvage some munitions. 6 ammo. Also rich enough to do an upgrade. We could get the next shield pip. As long as we depower some things, which is usually... Shields 2 is usually a... Wait. J isn't jump. What's the shortcut for warp? There is none. Okay, sucks. Let's head this way. You happen across an Imperial vessel on a courier mission. How did they not get the license? Doesn't Games Workshop sell everything? It probably costs more than their startup cost. You happen across an Imperial vessel on a courier mission. They had a chain of broken and incoherent transmissions shortly before opening fire. James Workshop. They work on James's? How do the timing of these line up? Close enough. So, weapons destroyed. Need to redestroy weapons. I've got to get used to the buttons being Q and W, not 1 and 2, but we'll get there. We need to resync them. Ah, this is nice. I don't remember this from the demo, but maybe I'm forgetting that there is, you get to see the enemy engine-o-meter. That is something you do not get in FTL. Does it not let you rebind? Maybe? Yeah, it looks like there is the ability to set the rebinds as you wish later. Ooh, does that mean there's a jump one? What's jump? No, there's no one for jump. There's M for map. But there's not a jump as far as I see. Poor little people. Okay, the contents of the enemy starship are laid bare. You proceed to strip it of valuable resources. More power, Captain. So that we can full power the engines. We need one more so that we can reactivate our boarding system. It said M was for map. No, tab. I'm an idiot. Hail, Icemark. Thank you kindly. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely day. We aren't rich enough for the merchant, I don't think. So we'll go to the encounter square, presumably. Your ship scanners detect a small facility in orbit around the moon. The markings on its exterior bear a resemblance to those of the notorious death cults. The facility is in ruins and most of the equipment is destroyed, but you do find a small unopened storage container with fleshy reagents, ritual materials to summon 9 fleshlings. Okay, we can equip that to someone. Bossman can have one-off summon lots of little flesh doggos. Which way do we want to go? Probably this way. That means we can choose to avoid the starship if we want to, seeing as we're still at full health. We don't need a rest location. This cannot hurt us. Nice dodging, friend, though. Okay, we should be doing boarding and yoinking their little treasure chest things. I had forgotten this. So we'll try to keep in mind that moving forwards. You receive a jumble of panicked broadcasts. They originate from a nearby colony. You move closer and realize that massive riots have overtaken the populace. Imperial arbitrators? Not arbiters, arbitrators, have been deployed to pacify the masses. Rescue civilians, fight the arbiters, avoid getting involved. No relation to Arbites. Rescue as many civs as we can. You deploy your crew to the colony and gather as many refugees as you can. Once your ship is at capacity, you transport them to the nearby colony. Survivors thank you and offer you a small reward. That's enough to get that next power pip, so we can run our boarding system, and in fact we said that we kind of maybe want to do that because there are extra goodies to be had. You are under attack from a death cult vessel. They appear to have been damaged from a prior incident. This one does not have a treasure chest system. No, you live here, you live here, you live here. What is the save stations button and the return to stations button? Enter and slash. Okay. You actually paid for Prime now? You want your faster delivery? Oi. You're supposed to live on the pilot bay. Ah, the enemy has cast slow. Halved movement speed. Alright. Can you hurt us? No, not as far as I can see, so... Spell. Slow the other guy. Need to let them sync up again. They fixed the shield quicker than I would have thought. Cheers, Sergeant Cookie. You salvage what you can. Legally distinct, not flak. Or purify plus 13 metal scrap. So a permanent spell or the weapon. I mean, we heart flak here, so flak. That needs more than both of those put together. Can I rearrange them? Because I don't like it being in slot 3. Yes. You heart flak as well? Yes. Excellent taste. We could buy the next weapon pip so that we can have the flak and that. I'd have to give up my crew boarding thing power temporarily. We need a temporary change to the icon. We heart fusillade. I do have free, What was the command? Was it emote? Yeah, there we go. I do have free emote slots, and I am taking emote suggestions, as the command provides a link for. Soon after jumping in, you receive a message from an orbiting warship. Contact, you are now participating in weapons trial. YAGs 1029. Hold station and stand by. Now, it does have one downside in that it takes twice as long to charge. Ooh, he did ion damage. Good for you. But 7 across 27 is still better than 4 across 24. So... Holy! Okay, at 1 shots. You scavenge some items from the wreckage. 33 times scrap, 3 times munitions. We will think about getting the extra weapons pip? No, the power. I want to be able to run the boarding thing if we have something that needs boarding. Next location, there's nothing but a cold emptiness in space here. A lone asteroid, moving at near luminal velocity, streaks by without incident. Do we want to visit the store? Not really, I'm not rich. I've been investing in the ship. You wonder how long it will take for a Void War reference to be added to Multiverse? An extremist group has infiltrated the local space colony and is threatening to blow the fusion pylons responsible for maintaining the colony's orbit. Without the pylons, the colony would fall onto the dwarf planet below, unleashing a tidal wave of nuclear fire that would sweep across 2/3 of its habitable landmass. The recent Imperial census shows a civilian population of 25 billion. Contact the extremists? Where was the Empire when the raiders came to slaughter our brothers and enslave our sons and daughters? When our hydro fields dried up and our nutravats sat empty? All our prayers have fallen. You were expecting to construct additional pylons? We have had enough. Violence isn't the answer. Remind them of their faith in the Immortal King and his plan, or nod in agreement. Well, we actually have been using quite a lot of violence to solve our problems, so not one. I guess at the moment we are nominally kind of not evil. We're kind of Imperial, so we'll go with praise be to his Imperial Holiness. Yes, the Immortal King has not abandoned us. We must not give up. The extremist liaison is overcome with emotion. He convinces the extremist group to turn themselves in. The colonists celebrate you as a hero and donate what they can to your cause. One even joins your crew. So some scrap and an extra crew member. Now, much more so than FTL, the crew are very differently statted in this game. Right? This sort of soldier man, 60 health, 3 attack. This just like more normal person, 25 health. 3 times squishier. Pretty much. You can be on engines. Their tactical ablative armor. Glittering stars dot your viewport. Despite the war-ravaged state of humanity's great projects, moments like these can almost seem peaceful. A weak signature appears on your data feed. It is a faint distress signal emanating from a barely functional stasis pod. You pick up the pod and resuscitate its occupant. The survivor's eyes snap open. It's a trap! Full power to the engines! Activate shields! You barely register the words when explosions rock your hull. Your shields go down. A Corsair starship reveals itself on your sensors. The survivor collects himself. By grace of the immortal king. If we are to die, let us die in glory. Okay, so they instantly destroyed our shields. Let's task everyone to fixing them, please. Other than dodge. One damage. We take our first damage for the run. Repower the shields. And then we will target engines first for the mischance. We do those, but legally distinct, Mirage. Oh, you think that was one ion to that system? Maybe. Yeah, okay, hull is still at full. So now that the shields are fixed, they can't hurt us. Back to normal positions. Be careful about the dangers of the other dimension, yeah. Despite the devastation, you retrieve some intact supply containers. As opposed to the perils of the warp. The survivor, inspired by your victory, elects to join your crew. Another normal basic human. Where can you live? I guess on sensors? Yeah, being man does help the sensors. Sensor strength 2. Grants visibility into rooms on your ship. Achieving an equal or higher sensor strength than the enemy grants visibility onto the enemy ship, which is more than the pure system for this. This means that there is some incentive to keep investing, like it's a electronic warfare, electronic counter-warfare system. Salah wants to join. I don't think we can rename people partway through. No, we can. I remember being able to rename them at the start. Done. Salah the Exile. We're rich enough again to, we played the demo, and it's pretty much FTL Mirage. Like, we played the demo a fair bit. One more weapon, so we can go up to the 2-shot, along with our legally distinct flak. An abstract wound. I don't remember this type of location, but let's visit. You come across a subspace rupture of unprecedented magnitude. It bleeds distortion across the fabric of space-time. Within the rupture lies the promise of unseen terrors and crueler fates. Not the eye of the void, the ocular globe of horror. As you approach the rupture, your senses issue a warning. A hostile entity has been detected. Your view screen flickers to life. Step closer and let the gods carve their will into your bones, says the Pit Lord. They do not have a... Ooh, they do have a demon heart, though. Controls the ship's maneuvering and regenerates damaged system. Okay, so that's their pilot equivalent. I would like my shield system to be on 2, thank you. Oh! Okay, the enemy is summoning skeletons. Well, get across. My guy needs to run away. Get across. Squishy humans are very squishy. Back to normal locations. Center of mass. Then shields. I was a bit slow. Another summoning set. Yes, human. Actually, you're a combat human. You may stay. Other combat human get over there as well. The game's warning me that we're getting a bit low on health on that person. We'll live. The enemy starship's innards have been exposed to the void in a grisly fashion. You pick it clean of useful materials. 35 scrap, 1 missile. The thing that stood watch dies without ceremony. As if this moment had already been decided. Ahead the rupture awaits. Increase game difficulty. Pass through the rupture or leave. I think we'll just continue on our way for run 1, eh? Stargate. Do we get free healing at the end of every jump? Yes. You approach the Stargate. Why? Is it a healing system? Not that I can tell. Clearly we are brave. Oh. Apparently we're in a danger zone anyway. The Technocults. Oh no, this is the global map rather than the like inside the single sector map. So, do we go to the Technocult sector, the exclusion zone, or the other Technocult? I guess the one that leads to the one that we know is neutral. Potentially. You arrive at a Technocult-controlled sector. The priests of the machine cult are defined by their pursuit of knowledge and rationality beyond all else. The skull... Salar just wants us to die, though some say many of their kind have taken the ideas too far. How much is the next weapons pip? 75. No, I think this way, where we can minimize unnecessary shop visits. You arrive to witness the last few moments of a fight between 2 Technocult vessels. The victor jumps away, leaving the crippled vessel to burn. Your sensors register increased energy levels from the crippled ship's reactor. It might be moments away from a catastrophic explosion. Then let's leave it alone. The danger is too great, you decide to leave. Technocult freighter. The Technocult ship is on an intercept course. Subspace receivers intercept a fat beam, not a wide beam, a fat beam transmission. It prefers to be called a big-boned transmission. A323. Extraneous factor detected. Prosecuting. Yeah, there's no Empire chasing us here. You just always move forwards. There's no ability to go backwards on the tree. This enemy actually has two weapons, so they're getting closer to being able to hurt us again. Ugh. Stupid having to reassign power. The enemy vessel suddenly breaks off its attack. They're attempting to flee. The ship is torn apart, revealing the contents inside. Only a portion can be recovered. Do we want a Hulk? So even less health than the normal human, the cyborgy human, or 1 oxygen tank and 4 scrap. Immunity to suffocation and 4 scrap metal. A poorly maintained but working rebreather. I don't really need more people. Shield, engine. Can you man life support? I guess let's find out if you can man life support. No. Can you man the door system? Legally distinct servitors? You can man the door system. Okay. Save those positions then. This one has a treasure chest. A Technocult pilot contacts you for help, lamenting the corruption of his starship's core by an infernal sentience. His starship appears to be undergoing a radical transformation. You witness the pilot consumed by the rapidly mutating structures surrounding him. The newly mutated vessel targets your ship. So we should board and steal the treasure, which means we will be diverting power away from, I guess, 1 dodge. Man up. I want the treasure chest. You retrieve the treasure chest, 44 bonus scrap. Let's go blow up their shield system. Dying of lack of oxygen. Come home. What was the recover you thing? Is it T? Ah, no, it's recall crew there. Done. I should have 2 shield pips, please. Center of mass for the flak. Weapons for the focus fire. I really do wish that it reassigned these automatically, but whatever. Double miss. Instead of forcing me to every single time reapply 1 shield. Oh, we need to go fix our life support. Fine. And I guess I can personally have Salah help out. There. That's enough for the next weapons pip. 2 power, so that we can both power that weapons pip and our dodge again. Ah, cough, cough. Here's where it tells you how much oxygen you have. I was like, where's my oxygenometer? But it's slightly above the actual life support system. And it looks like it autofills on jump. So the game has built-in... Yeah, the game has built-in quality of life. Normally you have to mod that into FTL. The space here is devoid of anything noteworthy. You transit towards the next jump node. Lack of oxygen meter made me cough. Maybe. You detect an Imperial ship under attack by a member of the Death Cult. Attack the Death Cult monitor. You move to engage the cultists. You are doing something nasty. Okay, you're casting slow. I don't really care about that much. Center of mass shot. And then shields and weapons. It doesn't have a treasure chest, so we don't especially care about... It misses, so we don't especially care about boarding. The ship is torn apart and you reveal its contents. 40 scrap, 2 munitions. After dispatching the vessel, you turn your attention back to the Imperial vessel, but it's nowhere to be found. It must have escaped. Okay, what else can we invest in? You can upgrade your boarding thing to let you transport over more people at once. Honestly, that would be cool in normal FTL, if you could upgrade the teleporter to have more capacity, not just faster speed. More sensors, more door, better autopilot. The next shield costs 100. We could start working on our dodge. I think we'll do one level of sensor system. Keep ahead of the electronic warfare and counter-warfare game. I'm not rich enough to justify visiting a shop. You arrive at the tail end of an Imperial invasion fleet. Several supply stations are visible. Secure the supplies because we have Imperial members of our crew. The crew member is knowledgeable about the layout of Imperial supply stations and draws upon that knowledge to secure the supplies within. Masquerading as a passing merchant, you are able to approach closely for a boarding attempt. Thanks to good planning, you're able to retrieve a significant quantity of supplies. You make your escape before the Imperial fleet can respond. A one-off drone and 7 missiles. Wants us to assign the repair thing. Octorn here can have a single-use wrench. You come across a salvaging vessel. It is an operative, and any tech of value has been taken. You move along. Raider vessel is passing through the region. As soon as you make visual contact, they power up their weapons and open fire. They appear to be carrying some... Yes, they do. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. We should board this schmuck. Give me the goodies. Goodies gotten. 30 extra scrap. And we can win that fight. We should win it in the weapons bay if we're going to. Or not. Come back. If we're going to win it anywhere. Normal positions. Target weapons first. Shields. The enemy vessel is trying to run away. Victory. Their poor little bodies fly off into the space. The explosions scatter debris in every direction. Enough remains intact to be worth salvaging. We almost have enough to start thinking about the next shield pip. A civilian colony is visible ahead. Cannon fire streaks across the void, and you realize the colony is under attack. Help them. You move to engage the attackers when suddenly an Imperial ship emerges. They target you, announcing loudly over the comms, "The enemy of the throne will be met with a swift end." Before you have a chance to explain, they open fire. No, they have 2 real combat people, 3 real combat people. Unfortunately, our flak isn't particularly a good weapon against this long, thin ship. Too much mischance. It is still useful for tearing down shield, though. Yeah, we'll see how well those people fight in the vacuum of space. Pretty much. The explosion leaves minimal salvageable material. Nonetheless, you recover what you can. A new cannon, machine cannon. +1 DPS. +3... Oh, this is a equipable weapon. So we could give this to Salar. 1 DPS and 3 in big rooms. Attacks slightly damaged nearby enemies. But, so Salar would move slower. Every battle-hardened... Oh, sorry, even battle-hardened warriors seek refuge when confronted by the deadly thunder of the machine cannon. Or an oxygen tank, an 8 scrap. I'd rather the DPS. More Imperial reinforcements arrive, and you find yourself blanketed in a cannon of fire. In a hail of cannon fire. You manage to escape, but not before taking some hits. That's fine. Go repair, go repair, go repair. Normal positions. Why is it taking so long to get oxygen back? Thank you. It wants us to equip our multi-cannon thing, so let's go find Salar and give him the Giga Cannon. Moves slower, but that doesn't really matter so much because Salar has the built-in teleporter. Who cares if he moves slowly when he teleports around? You detect an Imperial ship under attack by a Blood Cult warship. Well, help them. You move to engage the cultist. Center of mass for you. Weapons for the other 2. Wait to sync them back up, seeing as their shields are online. We need all 3 to hit these days. Enemies have started to have 2 shields. There we go. You identify a few intact cargo containers among the wreckage. 50 scrap, 3 missiles. As well, an Imperial commander gruffly acknowledges your help. Technocult, Death Cult, Blood Cult. Why can't we have nice cults, like the Cult of Hot Chocolate, or give each other's hugs? He ejects a small supply crate before jumping away, with a Cathedral Ward. Enemy DPS cannot exceed 2. Bonus health, move even slower. Well, we can commit to our Salar is a immobile object. 10 extra health for Salar, but people cannot harm... Oh? Oh, it's a tool, not an armor. Sure, I'll give that to Salar still. That means that this needs to go to someone else, though. Done. Chocolate is so hot it melts your flesh, and the hugs are made from crab demons, but details. Okay, we got enough money that we can get that next shield pip. And part of the energy to run it. It does mean we have to have slightly less dodge, but one more shield is worth more than one more dodge against non-missile enemies. You drop in at the next jump point and are confronted by a pirate vessel. The ship appears to be loaded with cargo collected from their former victims. This does have a treasure chest. My normal people are kind of damaged, so we're actually going to board with Salar. You retrieve the contents of the storage vault, a fire suit, armor of fire immunity, and 5 missiles. But at this stage we can actually crew kill. No, come back. No running away from Salar. The enemy crew has been killed. You scrap the remains and find some useful items. So, the fire immunity armor? Sure, it's better than no armor. Shove it on Salar. Yes, you're an immobile object. You have 2 things that slow you down. Your movement speed is minus 50. But you are extra healthy and murder extra well. You stumble across a hostile technocult vessel. Why do you look like you're casting a spell? Oh well, whatever. Shields. Good, we even poke a hole in the ship. Yeah, and he hardcaps enemy damage so that he can't really be swarmed. Well, he can be swarmed by lots of crappy people, but a single strong enemy is only garbage against him. You search through the remains and find a few useful items. More scrap, more missiles. We have so many missiles. We are actually possibly rich enough to actually do some shopping. So let's go shopping. I wish to trade. Can we also talk? Reports circulate of an ominous presence that leaves vessels filled with reanimated corpses. Be wary, traveler. They have a disruptor. A legally distinct pike beam. Well, it looks like a pike, but it acts like a piercing shot. No, it's a pre-charged. Okay. Pre-charged weapon. Or magnetic pulse. Tell me how much damage they do? Presumably 1? Maybe none. Yeah, I don't understand what that actually does. Sell the missiles? Can we? No, I don't think we can. We can buy missiles, and they have other things. We can buy a missile bay. Comes with a free missile template. I mean, we have missiles to spend, so very possibly. Siege bombardment. Bombard enemy ship with artillery. Consumes 3 munitions to deploy. An auto surgeon. Heal all friendly crew in the room. Recharges every jump. Or a desecrated shrine. Demonic units get stronger. Machine priest units get stronger. War cultists get stronger. I have 90, which is sadly 5 short of having both of these, so we're forced to pick. Do I want the surgeon, the artillery, or the missiles? We haven't needed the surgeon, so I'm leaning towards one of these. 3 missiles at a per use seems a bit expensive. Let's try it out. And what is also different is we get to pick where it goes. I guess there for symmetry. And then we're too poor for anything else. Unless I wanted to buy a little bit of repair. Which I guess I will do. The exit button doesn't actually exit. It does need power. And it has a shoot rate of 4. That is really quick. That is more than twice as fast as our next best actual weapon. I guess we'll get the power to actually run it in an emergency. Let's proceed on our way. You approach the Stargate. Do we go to the Forge Enclave, a tightly guarded enclave of the Technocult, or an Imperial sector? The scattered vassal colonies of the Empire. This one is supposedly neutral, while this is an active war zone. I'll go to the active war zone. Things have been relatively easy. Your ship emerges within the boundaries of an Imperial vassal sector. G'day, Gatan Naranja. Welcome, welcome. While ostensibly one of the more civilized regions of space, the fall of the God King has thrown large swaths of Imperial society into disarray. You come across an abandoned munition depot. It is in suspiciously good shape. Whatever supplies lie within might be worth the risk. Use our extra good sensors. The scan uncovers the depot as part of an elaborate raider trap. Realizing the failure of their ruse, the raiders attack you. They don't have a treasure chest. Although apparently they do have a missile. And they have 4 weapons. That's quite an upgrade. Okay, shield's gone. Next weapons. You want me to test the bomb? I don't think I need it. And I am a cheap bastard, so I'm going to avoid spending missiles on the bombard thing. With debris scattered across the area, you sift through the remains and recover a modest amount of salvageable items, either scrap or a force field. No one we know has psychic ability slot, so the spell thingy is useless to us. We'll take the money. With the raider threat dissipated, you search the munitions depot and recover a functioning starship armament. 3 shots across 19 seconds with a medium chance of fire. It would be a 4th weapon, so we need to power up our weapon slots even more if we want to use it. That would cost 90. Sizable amount. An Imperial vessel approaches the jump point. With its valuable cargo at stake, it hastily activates its weaponry and locks onto the ship. What is the Storm 1 stats? Sorry? Storm 1? Having auto-fire on a per-gun basis is nice? Yeah. Oh, it's 2-shot, 12 seconds. Small chance of fire, minor crew damage. So not quite as fast as the bolt gun, but it shoots 2 shots, 2 per shot instead of 1. They do have a treasure chest, so we should board. And our boarding crew is ready. They're fully healed again. Yeah, it's the Burst Laser 1. Legally distinct Burst Laser 1. I want the treasure chest. Treasure chest ours. 80 extra scrap. Come back. Normal positions. No weapons for you, please. Also, why isn't our last shield pip active? We're at least stopping them from repairing the shields up to 2, but we're not doing a lot more than that. There we go, now it's all on fire. Their crew members are dying. You picked the cargo. 65 scrap and 3 more missiles. And that's enough money to power up the weapon system one more, and the power to use it. So we could swap the bolt cannon for the Retributor 3. Yes, the first gun is functionally flak, but it's more like flak 3, 7 shots rather than 3, but it has extra long charge time. Now our new thing, 3 shots for 2 power across 19 seconds. So poor charge time in that it doesn't sync up with this guy well. It's at an awkward midpoint between our fast-firing weapon and our slow-firing weapon. Asteroid field detected. We have level 3 shields. Surely we'll be okay. A Blood Cult warship ambushes you from cover of the asteroid field. It's full of thralls and a ritualist. Hey, Jabba. Welcome. G'day. Now, does this one have spread, the new one? The new one does not have spread, which is nice in its way. Thralls happily throw themselves into the flames. As your starship looms over the enemy vessel, a transmission is received. It wants to surrender. No. Yeah, it finally passed its bureaucracy. Recharge our shields, please. We need to go fix the oxygen system, though. This is the tutorial ship. We aren't even out of the tutorial. Like, the tutorial seamlessly transitions into continuing to play the first ship. One hit point left. Come on, big miss. The top review of the game: in the foul blackness of the far future, there is only conflict. Yeah, that feels appropriate, Blackwinds. You managed to retrieve an intact supply container from the remains. 60 scrap, 2 missiles. We could get the absolute last weapons pip, and then we could run all of the weapons. We need more power, Captain, though. Let's rearrange these. The 2 slow weapons in order, and then the 2 fast weapons. FTL has better music. FTL has fantastic music, though. Like... that is a high bar to pass if you're like, I want other games to have as good or better music than FTL. I don't care about the rest, nor about the shaman aspect of the merchant, because we don't have any psychic people. Activate the armament production. Spend 10 munitions. I mean, I don't care. I've got 35 of these. Sure. It gives us a retributor. 1 shot. So why would I prefer you over the bolt cannon? You charge longer. Because you have a better chance of fire, whereas this has a small chance of hull breach. Okay. And it would line up perfectly with the other one in terms of timing. You are under attack from a Chromie warship. Streams of flux vapor jet out from underneath its ruptured hull plating. I will revel in your defeat, the ruinous scout. Wait for everything. No, it literally... It had set itself on fire to death. Calcium for the throne of craniums. You scavenge some useful material from the wreckage. We did need more power, Captain. So we can rearm that. But now we're back to full power. What would I want to do next? It's probably time for us to start, well, 1 doors, but then dodge. Or do we work on the siege bombardment? I think 1 dodge, then doors. Oh, sorry, other way around. One doors, then dodge for a while. Pair drones. Yep, hand them out to our little... Ah, actually, I don't have enough free slots. You can have one. Actually, it's better than his one, so we'll trade who has it. The healthier person should have the better bit of equipment, so that there's less chance of them dying with it. Because that's something I remember being annoyed about in the demo. If your character is holding a bit of equipment and dies, then the equipment disappeared. You re-enter real space, dangerously close to a small planet. The atmosphere is tense. You press onwards. I don't need to go shopping or rest. Streaks of energy fly past your ship. An Imperial vessel bears down upon you with its weapons locked. Sensors indicate the presence of a nearby asteroid field. Stand and fight. They have no treasure chest room. They do have a missile system that I am not at all friends with. Let's put an end to that unpleasantness. Even if it means not firing our broadside as a single thing. Center of mass for the flak. And shields for the other 2. We can have a missile template. But we have no missile bay or a lot more munitions. I'm going to take the munitions so that I feel safe using the siege bombardment if I need to. After dealing with the ship, you take a moment to sweep through the sensors of the nearby asteroid field. The readings suggest the presence of some sort of artificial structure. Let us investigate. You find another Imperial vessel. This one doesn't have a missile system. Among the wreckage is some useful material. There are no hostile signatures remaining. The structure you detected turns out to be a covert Imperial shipyard, which is undefended and now under your control. An abandoned shipyard floats into view. It appears to be a safe place to rest. Heal for 10, heal your people, construct a machine slave, or scavenge munitions. Do I want another repair drone? I'll take another repair drone. They keep targeting our life support, so I'm happy for you to live in our life support, friend. Power, dodge, power. Then actually start running our dodge. We're at 25% dodge. It's not amazing, but it's better than nothing. Here you thought we found legally distinct Necrons? You discover a cache hidden within a comet. There are some arcane reagents within. Some more summon squibbly squamous tentacle reagents that it wants me to equip. I honestly don't want to equip it, but we'll trade out you having repair for our repair drone people having repair, and then these guys can have summon extra defense. What was that we did? So compared to FTL, this game has your crew can have equipment of their own, and you are manually moving around equipment on your crew members. This crew member has this little flask of reagents that he can use to summon little flesh doggos, and it has 2 uses before it runs out. Salar is equipped with currently fireproof armor, was it autocannon? An autocannon for his sword thing, and a shield of, his utility tool thing was a shield of enemies, limit enemies maximum DPS. You've already made the legally distinct joke. All of your material is gone. You need some new material, Sunaj. You're under attack from a Death Cult vessel. They appear to have been damaged from some prior accident. They don't have a treasure chest. So we're not especially interested in boarding. I don't like that did damage. What was it? They do have a missile system. No. None of that, thank you. You retrieve a few intact cargo containers from the remains. Big scrap, 3 munitions. Next dodge, the power to use it. You briefly detect a chromie vessel on your sensors without it detecting you. The violent ionic pulses of the nearby star have masked your presence. This could be an opportunity to gain the upper hand. Tune your sensors to track them. You are able to make full use of your improved sensor suite to locate it undetected. The cultist vessel is caught by surprise. So they have an artillery and normal weapons, but they don't have a, They don't have a missile system. I should wait for the ion pulse to... well, too late. Completely destroyed their weapon system. The ion has taken down the baby's last weapon. They're trying to board me? Who do you think you are? This is a mediumly squishy guy. Trade for the not squishy guy. They think that they're a death cultist? Well... now they're plant food. Continue on our way. A densely packed asteroid field stretches as far as the eye can see. The view is interrupted when an Imperial ship materializes on your flank and immediately starts firing at you. They also have a flak. And a storm cannon. And these two sync perfectly. So his setup is actually quite... yeah, he can manage to do damage to us. But we take down one of the weapons and then we're safe. Center of mass for you. The enemy is starting to run away. Alright. Do we have any systems? Sorry? So, we have shield, engine, life support, artillery, boarding pod thing, weapons, command throne, that's effectively piloting, door, sensor, 2 exalted reagents, so this summons, instead of lots of crappy little doggos, something that's a bit bigger, or we can have another repairman. I think we take the extra repairman. This one can live in the artillery system. Do we want anything else? Can we afford the next dodge? We can. Can you buy more, like hacking? I don't remember a hacking. But that could be A, my memory, and it could also be B, that they didn't have it in the, like, backer beta, and now the full alpha has more. Not sure, is my response. You pass a large number of cargo haulers, like, there've already been several other things that I'd forgotten about, that we've pointed out. Oh yeah, that's nice and I like it. Of cargo haulers loitering aimlessly, one of the haulers broadcasts a haranguing speech and is met by wild cheers. Steal from them using our launch bay. They appear oblivious as we launch a series of assault sleds to raid their cargo holds. Most are empty. You end up recovering some supplies before moving on. Casts a projectile that repairs all breaches in the current room and repairs 1 system damage. But you can also eat the nearest thrall to do extra. Yeah. Can we sell it? None of our people know magic spells, so it's not, we can't equip that even though it's trying to nag us to equip it. Maybe should have gone that other path and gone towards the major threat, but whatever. You approach the Stargate. Zone 3. We can go to the Maw, a great and terrible subspace maelstrom, or the Imperial Shrine Worlds. Imperial Shrine Worlds. Ship unlocked. The Mongrel. Task. Reach the 4th sector. You enter a sector containing a cluster of Imperial Shrine Worlds. The adherents of the Radiant Dogma are known for their near-fanatical devotion to the God King. They do not take kindly to outsiders. You want Stargate members? A cometary ice mining operation is emitting a distress signal. The miners ask you to transport them off the comet. Apparently they'd stopped receiving pay. You drop them off at the nearest outpost. They are grateful and offer you a small reward. The next engine, but now I need to save up for two power so that we can use that engine. The path that dodges most shops is this one. An unholy talisman. Enemy DPS cannot exceed 2. Plus move speed, but lose health. No thanks, I don't want to equip it. I understand that it exists, I don't want to equip it, thank you. You approach an abandoned research installation and encounter a solitary Imperial soldier. I require access to crucial psychomancy that is held within, but the auto defenses are too strong. It is rare for Imperials to request help from outside. But the scholar's desperation is evident. We will assist you. You dismantle the station's auto defenses and allow the scholar to obtain the psychomantic wafer from the archives. In gratitude, he compensates you for your assistance with a huge payment of 100 scrap. Power, do. Turn that into dodge. We're up to 40% dodge. And there's no point of diminishing return for dodge in this one. It's just always gain 5%. So we can happily continue to increase our dodge effectiveness. How rich are we? 50. How much is the next shield layer? The next shield layer costs 200. I can afford the one door. We will do the one door. So we have door level 3 effectively. Is there cloaking? I don't remember any cloaking from the demo. I don't think that there was cloaking. You come across the wrecks of several Imperial ships at the edge of the asteroid belt. But again, it might have been a thing for not being in the demo or backer beta. Investigate. A cursory review through the databanks aboard the wrecked ships reveals them to have belonged to a renegade faction within the Empire. You salvage some supplies left from among the wreckage and move on. A war pick. It's extra good against big enemies, and some munitions. These guys can have a weapon. So, Remash knows how to mash with his war pick. He's extra good at everyone, but even more extra good against big targets. I don't need to go repair, so we go this way. You happen across an Imperial vessel on a courier mission. They issue a chain of broken and incoherent transmissions shortly before opening fire. They have 3 weapons. And nothing else special. They do have a treasure chest, though. So we would like to go board and yoink the treasure chest. Their people aren't as strong as mine. But they kind of are numerous enough that it's, ouch, slightly problematic. But they're going to lemming themselves into us. Swap who's tanking. I can't. Then we're going to need to recall and send another wave. Salar, finish the job. You can chase them via teleporting. So no escape for this guy. Victory. 55 scrap. And we get the treasure chest automatically. With the enemy crew eliminated, you waste no time in retrieving the vaults of their system. A pressure suit, no suffocation, armor type, and ammo. Come home. Normal positions. Give the guy with the war pick the extra armor. The armor of no suffocating. Dodge, or do I save up and actually visit a shop? If I do want to visit a shop, I have to go through this, which might not be the worst, as I do need a little bit of repairs. You arrive dangerously close to a white-hot star. A heavily armed Imperial starship is visible in the distance, speeding towards you. Prepare to die, blasphemer. We should probably open the doors everywhere that isn't rooms with people, so that the fires don't cause us problems. Like that. Okay. No, quit damaging us. Hail, Mumbles. Sure, you can be part of the crew. Welcome, welcome. Apparently I dealt with your doors wrong. My bad. So you go hide in the weapons system for a bit. The enemy ship is trying to run away. Hail, Nemeblub. G'day, mate. Welcome, welcome. Victory! We get our scrap, we warp away before the next fire wave. Oh! That's not the right thing, Sinaj! Ah, okay, more SC-64. Not put me into the crew. Sure. Like, being a crew member doesn't cost that much, Sinaj. Yeah, Sinaj. We owe him 30 minutes, and then plus one whole dictator. Or SC2. So he gets like one and a quarter dictators to the nearest sensible place to save. An abandoned shipyard floats into view. It appears to be a safe place to rest, and it heals pretty much exactly what we need, so yes. And we had renames. We had Mumbles and Sunaj. So Sunaj can be our guy with the Giga Hammer. And Mumbles can be our other combat specialist. Mumbles the Merciless. Yes, that's my fault. Close doors. You need to sit here. Wait for the oxygen. In fact, can we speed up that process? Maybe. I don't know if this game does the oxygen diffusion. I guess we can have air. Well, you can live without air. We could shove you in that room, Sunaj. You have the I don't need air armor on. I'm trying to save this money for the shop at the moment, so let's not spend it. An Imperial ship Locks target on your vessel. Immortal King, grant us deliverance. They don't have a, they don't have a treasure chest, so we're not especially interested in... We have had the opportunity to buy a medbay, Gartmanaraja, but it works differently to the FTL medbay. It's a single use per jump medbay. And we didn't buy it because instead we bought the artillery system that we are yet to use, but saving for a rainy day. You need to target this. Then I want this and this to target shields and the other one to target weapon. That feels like a good mix. We accept defeat. Accept these supplies and release us. I refuse your surrender. Like, I just healed up and already you undid like half of our healing, you naughty person. Trying to save money for the shop here. A group of miners has been having trouble with pirates raiding their storage facilities. They want to know if you'd be willing to help. Sure. You patrol the asteroid belt for a couple of days. Finally, you detect a small fleet of pirate raiders. You move to intercept them. They also don't have a treasure chest. So we're happy to be patient. This guy can get through our shields if everything lines up at the same time, but we're pretty likely to dodge at least one of the 4 shots, so functionally we are very unlikely to get hurt. Even if theoretically we could be. GG. Raiders are undeterred and another moves in to attack you. But this time we start fully charged, or as much charge as we had before, so we can immediately just wallop their shield system. Yeah, follow-up fight. Immediate follow-up fight. They've ionized one of our weapons. GG. A few supply containers survive the blast. You can retrieve one of them and leave the other to the void. So, rescue the husk, or more munitions. I feel like we have enough munitions. I'll take the extra repairman. The miners are grateful for your assistance. They offer you some supplies, 2 breach charges. So this would be good for boarding crew, but that's not kind of the thing that we're doing. And a bit of money. I don't want to equip these as much as you want me to. Corrosive gases detected. Fine, I'll go the other direction. It does have a treasure chest. You happen across an Imperial vessel on a courier mission. They issue a chain of broken and incoherent transmissions shortly before opening fire. So, get Sunaj and Mumbles into the boarding system. I would like you to board the treasure chest. We get it straight away. An assault shield. Reduce enemy DPS by 1 and plus 2 DPS itself. This shield is not only capable of absorbing incoming energy, but redirecting it as a powerful blast against the enemy. Their guy is actually going to win at the moment. So let's come back. Normal positions. And this points out that I should probably have my spare person not on life support but on weapons. Same with you. You should be on there. And then these two, Sunaj and Mumbles, could permanently live in the boarding bay. No dodge for you, you're screwed. You retrieve some intact containers, and we are nice and rich for visiting the shop. Munitions is missiles, yeah. Signified up here. Munitions. Ammunition for your missile bay and for artillery systems. Docking lights glimmer through the dust cloud ahead of you, betraying the presence of a large trading outpost. One of its representatives contact you. They want to make a deal. Talk. Admiral Vesuvian Hymas fall from grace as a cautionary tale. Once a celebrated commander, he now serves the blood god Ariok, leading the Principality of Hyma into a dark and treacherous path. And he has some absolute monster units. A genetically augmented warrior bound in Duraplate cladding until death. And some gene soldiers. Extensive genetic manipulation has bestowed upon these warriors superior size and strength. Each of those guys could basically defeat two of our normal enforcer people. Some sort of orbital paratrooper. Assault sled warrior. Yes. They use the assault sleds to board enemy ships and planets. Trade. We can have a missile template. We could go by a missile system. We could have a Terra Amplifier. It fires a psychic blast that stuns enemy crew and ignores shield. Can even target your own ship. A system that is a relic from a time when Imperial doctrine required heretics to be captured alive for judgment. We could have a med bay, the autosurgeon. We could also have an energy beam 2, a heavy disruptor, and a thunder cannon. Only really the med bay is super attractive there. This will be the maximum number of subsystems. I understand. The med bay can be in the middle of the ship. Do we buy a weapons missile system as well? I'm going to say we definitely repair. But I'd rather work on... Oh, also we should give Mumbles the new spare shield. No, it's a tool. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I'm not giving it to any of the husk things, so tough luck. Would I prefer Shield 4 or Dodge Maximum? See us, Jabba. Lurk away, we love our lurkers. We can power up the autosurgeon so that we get 2 uses of it per jump. Or we could power up the siege bombardment. I like the idea of doing that, so that in an ultra emergency we can just say, essentially chain gun artillery. You approach the Stargate. War Cult or War Cult? I have no choice. Okay, you arrive at the sector controlled by the War Cult, also known as the Cult of Crom. Those few devotees of Crom who have not yet succumbed to the Lunatac fury, afflicting so many of their brethren, are principally occupied with manufacturing weapons, and with the prosecution of large wars against the Empire. A Shrine of Rage. An ordnance expert. Nah, we're not rich enough. We just spent all our money. So we go across the top path and save up money again. Your ship emerges from subspace, and you find yourself facing a large space colony. It appears to have recently been attacked by war cult raiding fleets. We'll look for some survivors. Intruders detected. You begin to look for survivors, but are ambushed by a cult starship, and they have somehow managed to board your vessel. Okay, Mumbles, Sinage, get fighting. He's a nice squishy person. They have a Chaos Knight, an insatiable killing machine enhanced by an assortment of combat bionics. Infused with dark power, each Chaos Knight represents the pinnacle of raw combat prowess. They are the purest expression of Crom's eternal rage, bound within a human shell. Other than that, the other things on their ship are skellies, which aren't particularly scary. And we could get some easy damage on the weapon system by having Sunaj and Mumbles board and attack that weapon system. You don't think Sunaj has good odds versus the Crom Berserker? He has the DPS minimizing shield thing, doesn't he? No, that's Salar. Salar could beat it up. Have decided to bring out everyone else instead. Let's at least beat the skeleton. But now we're happy to run away. They're beating up our husk. Unload. I'm not allowed to yet. Okay, patience is a virtue, they say. Salar, you go beat up these invaders. And this seems strong enough that we're going to actually activate the artillery. Work your way back towards the throne. Fire everything at the shield. And the other two can do 1 missiles, 1 weapons. Another border? Can we unload Sunaj at last? Normal positions. Hop in the med bay. We'll activate the med bay. You get some useful scrap and some more munitions. So that pays for the use of the artillery cannon. Legally distinct Pizza Naut joins. Alright. We're out of ultra strong people. I guess you can be one of the mediumly strong people. What do I want next? Probably even more dodge. But now we're hitting up against being power constrained. You arrive and immediately find yourself targeted by a chromic warship. You will fight and you will die. But they're on fire, so they're gonna have to spend some time unbeing on fire. Wait for a full broadside, even though it takes forever to charge up our flak. Why were they already on fire? Because they're mentally insane, Gartanaja. They've all been messed in the head. Maybe they like being on fire. They are aflame with their love and devotion to their evil war god thingamajig. Literally, not just figuratively. You detect an engagement between local defense militia ships and cultist vessels near an orbital outpost. Attack the cultists. These guys are pretty bloody squishy. Even their boss is squishy. He's a necromancer. So Sunaj and Mumbles could totally... You can take him! Let's go. Good, go beat up their boss. So I guess go interrupt the medbay. Victory. You collect what you can from the remains. A pressure suit, immunity to suffocation, so we could give the other guy the immunity to suffocation just like Sunaj. Or they just listened to burn. Or huge amount of scrap metal. Am I willing to give up essentially 30 scrap to give other person immunity to suffocation? I guess I am. Your victory has allowed the militia to annihilate the rest of the cultist vessels. The outpost commander hails you. You meddlesome swine. Those acolytes were the only ones delivering medicine to this forsaken place. Offer our own medical surplus? They intercept your transfer. We will be taking this. You have helped us, but we do not know you. Take this compensation and leave. Heal Sunaj and Mumbles before we jump. Well, mostly heal. We can give that second person... We can give Mumbles the I don't need to breathe armor. So now both don't need to breathe. They're okay to board fully horrified, fully warp-infested ships that don't have oxygen. We've still got too much money, though. What do we do? Even more sensors? Even more doors? Even more throne? No. Even more healing. That way I can heal you. And I'm forced to pick a favourite, so I will pick Mumbles, as you need the health more. Good. Can we move people in and out to... Okay, so it activates the med bay for a set period of time, and you can micro people in and out. And you can probably do the FTL cheesy thing of having people walk from side to side across the room at the same time as well, if you really wanted. Asteroid field. They're also immune to farts too. You re-enter real space and are immediately ambushed by a cult warship. Worse still, you appear to be stuck in the middle of an asteroid field. I hunger for souls, says the Blood Witch. These all appear to be pretty squishy. Even the boss is squishy. So, Sunaj and Mumbles, go beat up their boss. Make room to disembark. That's new. I thought it would disembark into the nearest room. She has used Summon Thrall. The husk is not good enough. Salar, move out. What are we doing here? 15 health, 34. We should be okay. It's trying to make me scared, but it's being a bit of a sook. Victory. The enemy crew is killed. You search through the remains. Come home. Shove them in the medbay. Oh, let's test if you can do the cheesy... Yes, you can. You can cheat the medbay by having people walk through it. Normal positions. What else do we want? Even better boarding. Optionally allow Salar to join the other two in boarding. And better autopilot. High temperature detected, but we have no choice. You two hunger for souls or pancakes? I could go some pancakes, never blub. I should make some pancake mix. You happen upon a Technocult vessel conducting an operation upon a fusion pylon deep within the sun's corona. They are aggravated at being discovered and open fire on your ship. These guys will all be squishy because they're Technocult. Yes, they are universally squishy. Let's go. Disable their weapons with our boarding and then slowly murder them all off. Even their least squishy person is fairly squishy. Salar, get over there and help fight these guys. The husk needs to run away. No, I was too slow. Oh well, goodbye. Goodbye, menial drone number 1. Very good. Come home. You two deal with this. Activate healing. Sunaj and Mumbles, you go heal as well. Sad that we lost a person, but oh well. Crepe with lemon juice, cinnamon and sugar. Yeah, I don't mind sugar and lemon juice. I tend to go a cream and jam myself. I'm doing alright, Pip. We could have. It let you pick where you put it. There was a 4x4, but I wanted it to be central. You receive a message from the orbital station. Its commandant informs you that rebels on the planet are staging a surface-to-orbit attack. The commandant is determined to avert disaster and wishes to execute a preemptive strike. Okay, you launch an orbital bombardment against the targets. They turn out to be antimatter power plants which erupt in a cataclysmic explosion. The Commandant thanks you for your help in exterminating the surface colonies and presents you with a lavish gift. Huge amount of money. But we've run out of, sort of things to spend our money on. The potential for more dodge. And I guess I could upgrade the shields 1 so that if we take 1 shield damage, it doesn't turn the shields off. You're more useful being on weapons than on the artillery system. I don't need to rest. We've only taken 1 hit point of damage, so we'll go the other way. The only chat you're not banned in that you enjoy tuning in. Well, maybe you've got to be a more responsible chat member, Pip. Lurk more, be a naughty person less. They do have an Ultra Knight guy, but everyone else is super squishy. So, I reckon we go get your weapon system at least a little bit down. And they aren't bringing in the Super Knight. Now they are, so run away. You two, go fight here. Good, and we're ready to shoot. Center of mass. The others fire on the weapons and shields. Kind of feel like if we heal up Sunaj and Mumbles, we might be able to even overcome the Giga Knight Man. So let's have a go. Load crew, board. Round 2, we say... I guess we're going to live with being on fire. Yeah, we're winning the DPS race. Good. Gotta be mindful that Sunaj is not immune to fire. Oh no, he's resistant to fire though. There we go. Okay, everyone come back. Quickly go hop in the med bay. Activate the med bay. Normal positions. You wouldn't be banned in any chat if you stay silent? Pretty much. There's probably the odd person who just randomly bans random people. Sensors have detected a war cult vessel ferrying supplies. Rather than fleeing, it turns to engage us. This is actually surprisingly combat effective, so we will not be boarding you. And it has enough weapons that I think it's worth me spending the munitions to shoot a bit quicker and use our artillery system as well. They're dodging it with amazing accuracy. The enemy acknowledges your superiority and offers an unconditional surrender. 77? No. You made me spend munitions on you. I want to blow you up and get my missiles back. As the ship disintegrates, a portion of its cargo remains intact. We can get back a servo husk, making up for the one that we lost against those other people. Ah, and it's a medium servo husk, not a crappy one. Then I'd prefer you to be on weapons, friend, and this one can go back to living on artillery. Do I go to the merchant? We're not really rich enough. But it's the last one for this sector, so I'm going to say yes. How do you get spells? So different class of people get different equipability, and some of them will get the ability to equip spells. So you get them either by coming with them when they first exist. You can get them from events. We've had 2 offers for spells that we've chosen the other one because we don't have any people that can use them. And you can also buy them from shops. The shops have different types, and one of them is specifically like a spell shop. An Imperial supply ship flashes into real space. They contact you. Let's talk. Coronal mass extractors are large technocult refinery complexes built around stars to extract energy. It's stored in large capacitors, which are loaded into technocult conveyor ships and transported across the galaxy. Okay, we could sell off some of the stuff we don't want. Like this spell. And the Unholy Talisman. The new guy. Where is our new guy? You can have a weapon and a tool. So let's give new guy the defense tool. Make him extra good at... Takes less DPS. I'm not sure I care about the depth charge. In fact, I'm kind of willing to sell that. And the other one. They will let me buy War Cultist up. No. Carnivore Hatch. The launch bay can load enemy crew. It prioritizes enemy crew and does 140 damage to them when loading. I'm sorry, what? It eats enemy crew. Our ship literally eats borders. I kind of want that just for the science of finding out how it works. And plus 10 health to all Raider Outlaws. No. Let's take this. Our launch bay can supposedly eat people. And then we were already full of these. We're not allowed more, right? I thought it said we weren't allowed more. And yet it let me have another. How strange. Not enough scrap for that. I'll sell off the weapon. Can I have that as well then? We'll shove it there. A nice symmetrical layout. Oh, maybe it meant subsystems? Okay, it was that the med bay was going to be our last subsystem, but there was still space for real systems. We can get the temporary workers. Yeah. We can level up the temporary worker thing, and the other thing we got was a missile bay. And what was our built-in missile? A Gladius. 1 shot, 16 charge time, 1 hull damage, ignores shield. Nah, that's pretty garbage. I'd much rather the artillery in general. Also, from an order perspective, it's a bit weird that this comes at the front, but in terms of the button presses, it is at the end. Q, W, E, R, and then this is T, even though this is at the front. So they should probably, in terms of the graphics, have this go behind this, but whatever. Very minor niggle. A damaged war cult vessel is visible in the distance. In spite of its injuries, it does not hesitate to open fire at you. They have a Superman, but they also have a whole lot of skeletons, so we might as well tickle their weapon system a little bit. Literally unplayable. Okay, can we beat the Super Knight? No, that's a hard no. Run away. But it did do some weapon system damage. Yeah, you guys go help fix that. And full barrage is about ready. In the wake of the explosions, few useful items remain. Blobberants is less than a half hour. Sorry? You retrieve what you can from the aftermath. Big-ish money. Not enough to get our last shield pip. We could upgrade the slave thing. It's kind of okay to use them as a disposable Zap Brannigan approach. But I'm too power constrained. So, no. This choice, because it lets us pick either of those two. A damaged war cult vessel is visible. In spite of its injuries, it does not hesitate to open fire. It's full of reasonably squishy people. See if we can get some system damage to help us along. Now their Super Knight is coming. Run away. Shove you both in the med bay and get healing. Weapon, weapon, weapon. Good. And the other one does shields. $86 scrap. That is enough to get that last shield pip. So now I have to decide between extra shield pip or the maximum dodge. I suppose I could give up powering the artillery when we aren't using it, and the same with the boarding system. Doesn't seem to make a difference which one we do. The remains of an orbital colony pirouette through the void. It appears to have been stripped by salvagers long ago. You move on. You approach the Stargate. Final sector. You arrive at the Imperial Core Worlds. Ahead of you lies a terrible artifact known as the Vault of Souls. This is our last chance to repair with those things. I'd rather go and maybe get a psychic crew member than the repairing for 2, but we might also go through the middle. You pass through the ruins of an orbital outpost. The extreme level of radiation precludes any attempt to salvage. So, do I say that we have a... I don't have enough to buy anything useful, so no. We'll go through the middle. You arrive dangerously close to a white-hot star. A heavily armed Imperial starship is visible, speeding towards you. I bring the Immortal King's judgment. It has high-level combatants, so we won't be trying to board you. It has full shields and a high level of dodge. I might lose some dodge to gain our artillery. And we can live without oxygen for a little bit. It's trying to board me. That's horrifying. But we could test out our boarding system eats people thing, which I wanted to do. Power it up more to try and eat more enemy crew. That didn't do what I wanted? It was supposed to eat enemy crew. Huh. Well, then I don't know how that works. Maybe it only prioritizes them if they're in the room, in which case it's way too conditional to be useful. Yeah, maybe they have to be in the same room, in which case it's way too conditional to be... Holy shit, you got liquidated. To be useful. Oh well, goodbye dead drone, we'll miss you. Salar, get in there and help. Open that to space. It's time to go... shoot. And then fire you at the shields and the other 2 at weapons. Victory. Sunaj and Mumbles go heal. Salar, get back to piloting. I'll lose a dodge to get oxygen for a while. Hell, we'll lose 2. Scrap and munitions. Redirect power. You arrive at your destination in front of a damaged Imperial warship. It immediately locks on and opens fire. Sorry. This one is filled of squishier people, so Sunaj and Mumbles can be useful. Disable some enemy weapons. Retreat because the Giga Knight is trying to blow you up. Go heal. Divert this to dodge. Make a second run of them. I've still got multiple medbay uses, so I don't see why not. Make another run at the enemy. Maybe their... I can't target shields, but their engine is valid. back. Victory. Very little of import survives the explosion. A macro devastator. 27-second charge time is a bit... It would line up with our flak, though. Hull damage per room hit 3. Shield piercing 2. Beam length 85. Damage reduced by shield pierced by 1. Doesn't in and of itself affect shields, and has a tiny chance of hull breach. It's a bit sad that I can't look at this. No, that's a bit... Requiring 4 power is... Like, that means I only get to have the flak and that. But we haven't really tried a beam weapon yet, so... I'm gonna take it. We'll try out our new... Death Beam. I can't have more weapon system, and that means I need to swap you two if I want to have even more. So they do time well together, whereas before we had the, like, 2 quick things, 1 medium and 1 slow. Now we have 2 slow, and this little... I mean, this will help pepper things with the artillery, maybe? A little bit? Or I could leave it charged and see if it... Yeah, probably leave it charged and help it speed up the charging of them. Anything else? Potentially faster clone things, in the event that we want to use them as a defense wave. Which actually is something that we should do all the time. We should have it set up like this so that when we enter, we have all of the slave things. Or does... I forget whether they need to be built every time you... So let's test that out. If we use you... No, yeah, expires between jumps, so... I am remembering correctly that they die. Your ship enters real space on the inner edge of an asteroid belt. An Imperial starship is idling near one of the smaller rocks. Before you can react, it engages its weapons system and locks onto your ship. So then, no, I don't want this, I want normal dodge. Want even more normal dodge. It's not an extremely long beam. I suppose 3 damage per room is pretty big though, so what, that's 3, 6, 9, 12 damage, whereas this is doing at most 7. So yeah, it's probably worth the extra 1 power. Ready to go. Fire our big broadside. Get ready the beam weapon. Absolutely shred the enemy systems. We have seen your might. Take these supplies and allow us to live. No. It's a glaive. Somewhat. We get about the same amount of scrap that they were offering anyway. Last level of life support. Last level of attack bay. Even though not as many people can fit in the room as it's supposed to be sending. A possessed warship locks onto your vessel. Once an Imperial warship, its form has been mutated beyond recognition. It does have a treasure chest, so we should at least go get the treasure chest. Which they're guarding. Getting a bit squishy. And we're poisoned. We need to come back. And we need to get to the medbay ASAP, because poison is terrifying in this game. Ugh, just in time. Round 2, let's go. And now we actually have to start killing you. Success. Come back. Oh god! That was very nearly 2 dead crew on the boarding. You pick up a few intact cargo containers from the wreckage. We can upgrade the missiles, or we can keep the money for visiting this shop. Let's visit the shop. Talk. Husk racks, arcane devices built by the Technocult, are used to transform once human individuals into husks. The process involves surgical alterations, cybernetic enhancements, and removal of free will, resulting in horrifying, pitiful creatures optimized for servitude. Trade. They have a Terra Amplifier, another one of these stupid carnivore hatches. Imperial citizen health up? Yes, because almost everyone we have is Imperial. Imperial, Imperial, Imperial. Imperial, Imperial, Imperial. Okay, the husks aren't, but like more than half our people. There's a power sword, a power claw. Both are... well, actually, no. Only Mumbles needs a weapon. Well, Mumbles, Pizza-Naut, and Survivor, so we might as well grab the weapons. Sure, why not? Repair. This is the literal last one you're allowed. Okay, Terra Amplifier. You know a few horrifying creatures optimized for servitude at your office as well? Savage Nemablob. Nemablob does not think much of his co-workers. Stunage can keep his giant gigapick. Mumbles can have the power sword. And then Pizza-Naut can have the other machine gun. And finally, unnamed person can have the power claw. You said a few, not all of them? Okay, some of his co-workers. Some of them. A vast and terrible vessel appears before you. It is a doom engine, infernal monument to interminable war. Its transmissions are incoherent, but the hostile intent is clear. The ship moves to attack. Pause. So it's got 1, 2, 3 Chaos Knights, a Warseer, a Conqueror, 2 Conquerors, 2 Berserkers, and the Warseer. We are definitely not going to get much done by boarding. Do they have a boarding system? They do, and they appear to be sending people towards it, to my horror. So let's depower Dodge, repower our slave system. I guess I'll power up our stun thing. And try maybe stunning them. Okay, they aren't actually moving towards the boarding system. Then we'll depower down to just one slave. Everything else on dodge. He says, and then one of them does do the boarding thing. It's only a berserker, that's fine. Okay with that. I could send my husks at the enemy, but they also have husks, so it's a bit of a... why bother? I'd actually prefer you two to be in the shield system for the moment. Our weapon is almost charged. Shields. Shields and... can I get 3? I could get there. Could also do engines and drop pod, or slave maker and life support. But I think engines and shield, oh, sorry, weapons and shield are the correct two to do. That was a pretty sizable chunk of their health, and it knocked out one whole weapon system. Extreme energy detected. Let's depower this and power up some more dodge. What if I depower you? Do they just explode? They seem fine for the moment. Can I stun all the people in the shield room? And then depower and power up our artillery? Okay, it's doing some sort of obnoxious amount of fire. Let's power even more to the engines. And in fact, you can be on auto fire. We're going to put in the effort to melting extra amounts of the shield room this time. Depower dodge, increase the artillery. That's the new womp womp womp, yes. One more power needs to go to our shields. We're ready for the next firing. We'll do a bit of weapons and a bit of shields, but in the other order. It appears to be conducting a ritual. Suddenly, protective wards materialize around the enemy vessel, shielding them from harm. You hear the sound of intruder alarms. A number of hostile machine slaves have materialized aboard. Enemy systems are protected. 4 boarders and enemy crew reinforcements. We need to power our oxygen for a bit. Where are the boarders? 2 of our disposable people go there. 1 of them go there. Actually, my guy there is better, so you go here. You run away slightly. That was worryingly close. Normal positions. We're almost ready to fire again, but we have to wait for the stupid purple thing to wear out. I don't need super amounts of life support anymore. Back to dodging. And Pizza-Naut and Mumbles go deal with a guy trying to blow up our horror, terrifying ray thing. Okay, their immunity thing has worn out. Wow. Too many misses. Too many misses. More power to the artillery then. At least until the womp 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 goes through. Divert power from the artillery to our own dodge, and life support as well. One damage isn't too bad. Poor Fanis deserves some healing. I mean, deserves is a strong word. Spend a little on them and have Sunaj walk through as well. Normal positions. I don't need the dodge anymore, I do need the artillery. Oh, I have to... Okay, so don't fully depower it, only depower it to level 1. Else, unpleasantly, you have to pay for it again. Go. Good. The Terror Ray actually kind of makes sense to stun the people trying to fix the shields. Big miss. I'm willing to turn you to auto fire. Keep targeting that room. I do need some oxygen. Alright. Ship unlocked. The Gasp of Ruin. Oh no, the Grasp of Ruin. Vanquish the Doom Engine. The enemy has been vanquished. At last you arrive at the Vault of Souls. Within it you find a grand altar ablaze with argent fire. Difficulty level 1 unlocked. You plunge your hand into the flames. The searing heat of eternity washes over you and your crew. Your souls sublimate into the infinite ether, heralding the age of pandemonium. You have fulfilled your destiny and your mission is complete. Cheers, VGF. A game by Tundra. 3 people. Music by Kelsey. And here are... Yeah, so what? That was 4 people, right? The work of 4 people. And then here are all their backers. All of the many backers. Well, not all. I think it's the first 1,000. The first 1,000 backers. Skip this? Yes. Victory, you got a score of 4452. After a long and terrible voyage, the crew of the vessel, the Triumph of Heaven, emerges victorious. Their achievement has been enshrined within the Vault of Souls. Salah. Krian? Krian is apparently the most important. Then Sunaj and Mumbles, Pizzanaut, Faunus, and Lambda V. And it gives you a breakdown of why you get your score, how much money you made, how many sectors you visited, how many encounters you had, hazards you visited, enemies defeated, enemies even more than just normal defeated enemies completely crew killed, and how many surrenders you accepted. And then it gets multiplied by what difficulty level you're on to earn you... Your score is then converted into resonance. This is essentially the meta progression currency. You use these points to unlock other ships and things, or at least you did in the backer beta. We will see if that is the same now. So in here, where is the pick ship? This thing? This thing? Yeah, here. So you spend that resource to, like, get other commanders to start with. We could start with, instead of Salah the Exile, we could start with Salah the Witch, who would have a built-in spell and have a slot for another spell. Weapon and armor. We could afford a mutant, born and raised in the exclusion zones of Tyrant 3, gifted with unnatural constitution and monstrous physical strength. A cybernetic. And there are a bunch that we apparently haven't gotten up to unlocking yet. And then, can we see the other ships some other way? List. Here we go. Vanquish the Necropolis barge to unlock this one. So yeah, there's... what? 4, 8, 9... 9 by 3 ships. There's 3 pages of commanders to unlock with the meta progression. There's a fair bit of content here. We certainly expect to be playing a fair bit of it. For now, though,